Hi, I'm Francine Martindale from Heardable, and I'd like to thank Sharon Neal for inviting me to be part of the Digital Marketing Summit Asia 2016. It's exciting because I will get to share today with you information about marketing metrics, which is what Heardable does, basically, and easy ways to use them to maximize your digital marketing performance. As mentioned, I'm Francine. I'm the co-founder of Heardable. So Heardable is a digital marketing analytics company. What we do is we help marketers monitor their brand growth online, and we give them metrics and a system where they can assess their brand versus other brands across the digital footprint. So we don't just look at social, but we're looking at your website and your UX there. We're looking at your sentiment. We are looking at your virality of content and the quantity of content. We are looking at your mobile and a few other metrics. And basically, we look at these areas. We create a score for each of them, and then they add up to your total Heardable score, which we track over time so that you can see how well your brand is doing in each of these areas and which ones you might want to work on next, and which ones are doing well. And you can see how your competitors are doing as well. So you can see which areas you're ahead of them or behind them, and then it helps you to create your own marketing strategy. As mentioned, I'm Francine. I'm an entrepreneur who's worked in several tech and media startup companies. My specialty is helping companies establish their systems and their content, and basically putting everything in place and getting things off the ground. So my background is in digital content creation. So I started in television and then moved into internet in the early 2000s. Today, we're going to be talking about why do marketing metrics matter, how they can help you, why people should use metrics, what to measure, so key metrics to use and which part of the funnel you should be measuring, and then we'll kind of sum it all up and give you some takeaway tips, which hopefully you can use in your own marketing as you apply it. So why do marketing metrics matter? The thing that I think people sometimes overlook when they're concerned or apprehensive about using metrics is that they can really help you focus on what it is that you want to be achieving. So if you set your goals and you have actual tangible, numerical, measurable goals, then you can easily figure out which metrics it is that you want to use to track your progress toward achieving those goals. So yeah, the first reason that you need to do that is for goal achievement, to know, have you achieved the goals that you set? Or, if you're not achieving them, how far are you away from them? If you've achieved them early, how early was that? Why did that happen? Point number 2 is to focus on your KPIs. So if you have marketing metrics, then they can actually keep you focused on what it is that you're trying to achieve, rather than getting distracted by either other metrics, because there are so many that you can measure now, or just distracted by other soft marketing goals that you might have, like, did people attend your event or something like that. Which might be useful and interesting, but it might be distracting from what your key KPIs are. And then by measuring, it can help you with your planning, both the planning for the initial activities that you want, and then also after you've done them, then it will help you to plan what your next activity should be more clearly, so that you can focus on what's working. You will know what's not working, and you won't waste any time still doing things that aren't getting you where you need to go. So how can marketing metrics help you? Yeah, they can help you understand the landscape. Basically, first of all, you can use them for research to see where is everything at. Do a kind of litmus test so that you can see how you are doing currently before you start any activities, how your competitor is doing, what they're doing best at. Maybe they're creating a whole lot of content and it's going really viral and they're getting a lot of publicity that way, and it's wonderful for them. If you can research and then measure that research so you can understand exactly how well they're doing, that can help you know if that's something that you should be undertaking too. It can also help you to plan what it is that you want to be doing, because you've done the research, so you can see what's actually working and what has worked in the past. Metrics can help you with goal setting. So if you can enumerate exactly what it is that you want to be achieving by X date, that can help you understand, is that an achievable goal? So a lot of times, if you haven't set any specific targets, then it's hard to know if you've actually achieved what you should within a specific time. But if you have the metrics, then you can actually know if something is going to be, if you're going to be able to achieve something with the given resources and time that you have. So sit back and think, what am I trying to achieve here? Do I want to create new leads? Do I want to find new customers? Am I trying to increase my existing customer lifetime value? How do I plan to do that? Metrics can also help you with optimizing your execution. So as you're executing your strategy, you should be measuring along the way. And the more that you measure, the faster you can actually tweak what's going on. So you can make things, you can drop faster things that aren't working. Let's imagine that you're running a Google AdWords campaign, for example. If you find that some Google AdWords are just not getting you any traffic, you can just stop using it, try something else sooner than if you have not been measuring, and then you won't know which terms are working and which terms are not. You can use metrics for campaign review. So understand how successful a campaign was and why it will help you to know what to do in the future. So you can run your campaign across different channels and then figure out which channel was working best for you. So with so many metrics, where should I focus first? And what I always say is focus on your ROI, so your return on your marketing investment, essentially. What is going to keep you focused on your goals and not get lost in the data overload that there is out there. So focus, just bear in, always keep your eye on what your prize is. What to measure and how to get started. So start by putting the measurement tools in place. What I find when I'm meeting with customers sometimes is that they haven't put the measurement tools in place to measure across the whole funnel. So they might have some measurement in some areas of what they're doing and be missing other parts. So before you do anything, start out by actually measuring, putting the analytics tools in place that you want to measure all of the different aspects of what it is you're going to be doing. Sometimes it'll be quite easy. If you're running a Facebook campaign, then you'll want to be looking at your Facebook insights. Other times you might have to, if you're revamping your website, for example, you might have to choose your own analytics tools so that you can see, is your website optimized as much as it can be. And then step 2, you'll want to measure as much of the process from lead generation through to the sale and customer satisfaction as you can. So yeah, these days it's possible to actually see where your leads are coming from, what touch points they've touched of your branded content, and then at what point and how long later did the sale actually happen? So, how long was that process? Which lead generation activities actually led to your sale? Because it might happen that you generate a lot of activity on a particular social network, but it's actually, although there's lots of activity, those people aren't buying things. Whereas maybe through your blog, people are finding your website, and then actually that's leading to sales, even though there might be fewer people who are doing that. It might lead to more sales. So these are the kinds of things that you want to be actually looking at to understand better how to maximize your sales along each step of the way. So I've created here a funnel that we can actually look at to see what should we be measuring at each of these points in the funnel. And this should help you kind of be a bit more clear about which metrics matter when. So we'll just kind of go through it. In the awareness stage of people, if that's what you're focusing on to improve, you'll want to be looking at your search terms and keywords, the unique visitors to the website, how many people are coming, the new page likes across all social nets. So are people actually finding your social network pages? Are they liking them more? Are you finding that more people are following you on all of these social nets, whatever it is that you're on? Page views per blog page, and other content pages. So don't just look at your blog, but it might be that you've got some really good content as part of your regular website. And maybe some of those pages are actually bringing people in to see your branded content. And then from there, they're actually trying to find out more about the products that you have that might solve the problems that they're looking to solve. Consideration. So in the next step in the funnel is consideration. So now we're looking at ad opens. Are people actually clicking through the ads that you might have placed out across the web? Are they engaging with your content? Are they asking questions? Are they sending you feedback and messages that you can respond to help them with their buying decision? And then key page bounce rates. So are people coming to your site and actually bouncing off? Maybe they're getting to your price page and then not signing up from there, and you might want to look into your pricing strategy. Or maybe they're landing at some sort of solutions page and that's not providing the solution that they want. If you look at your key page bounce rates, you can see which pages people are leaving from, and that can help you understand what's working and what's not online. Next down the funnel is just try and stay top of mind. So if you're doing an email campaign, which is still a very viable way to reach people, are people actually opening the emails? Are they reading them? You can see the search demographics of what kind of people are searching for your content, or what kind of people are being led to your site. Excuse me. And then further on, where the convert to sale, we can see the cost per customer acquisition per channel. And for me, this is quite a vital metric, because what we want to understand is what is the total cost of acquiring the customer versus one channel versus another channel. So are some channels cheaper to use than others? And if so, then which ones are they? And then customer demographics. So, who is actually coming to your site and which are the ones they're buying, not just who's searching, but actually who's putting down their money and buying the product or service that you have. When it comes to daily active users, now we're into the loyalty metrics. So we're seeing who's actually coming back to your site and using your site or using your product over a regular period of time. So that includes daily active users, a bit more customer lifetime value, so you can see how many of these people are actually coming back month after month. Segmented demographics, so you can break down the users in several different ways, either by typical demographics or even by group of the cohort of when they join. So you can see If somebody signed up for your service in January, are they still signed up in June, or have they all dropped off? That can help you understand your customer lifetime length. Loyalty program usage. So having a loyalty program will give you a heap more of data for you to work with, and you can understand then better which particular people are buying what when, and it can help you with your promotions and your frequency, and understand the frequency and size of purchases, so that you can then market to them more to see, you know, if they bought this, will they also want that kind of thing. And then down at the very bottom is advocacy, and this is what every marketer's goal should be, is to have all of your customers convert into advocates, people who are selling your product for you and saying wonderful things about it. So there's content virality. Are they creating content that's going viral, or are they sharing your content that's going viral? Do customer feedback surveys so that you can actually understand what they like and what they don't like. Sometimes you can have customers that are repeat customers, but they actually aren't people who are that loyal, and you can find out why if you actually ask them the right questions. And then sentiment, you can get a sense of advocacy by measuring the sentiment of what the chatter is out there on social nets and in blog pages and blog page comments and forums. When analytics works best, so marketing metrics should tie into traffic and conversion, and then revenue, so you can see what are all the sources, which website, who are the website visitors. Is mobile actually something, you know, what are the actual devices that people are logging in from? Because sometimes you can see that there are different profiles for the different device users. What's the click-through rate? Part two is then the conversion. What's the conversion rate of your visitors? What's the bounce rate? Page view per visit. So these are the things that are going to help you understand if your marketing and if your product is strong enough for people to actually want to buy it, rather than just learn about it and then go off and find some other solution. And then part three is revenue. So here's what your bosses will want to know about, is what is the cost per lead? What are the costs, customer acquisition costs, and the ROI per channel. And once you understand the ROI per channel, then, as I said before, you can really know which channels it is that are working for you best. So measure effectiveness by channel. Here we can see how much did you spend on each channel in terms of time and resources and money. And this is important because if you put a lot of effort into one channel and it doesn't pay off, then that's a waste. Whereas if you've tried something free and it does pay off, then that's fantastic. In Heardable's case, we actually discovered that Twitter was somewhere that we were finding a lot of our potential customers. And we were finding them for free on Twitter. We weren't even advertising. We were just reaching out to people who fit a certain profile. And having connected there, then we would invite them to learn more about our products through a demo. And that was really good for us. So do keep an open mind about which channels might be right for your kind of product. Okay, which ones led to paying customers? So again, I think I said earlier that some channels might be very busy. You might be posting a lot on Facebook and people are sharing your content, but that might not be leading to actual paying customers. And it might just be sapping your time and resources. Same with any channel. It might not be Facebook. Facebook might be working for you, and maybe Pinterest is not, or maybe blogging is not. But you need to figure that out. What was the cost per channel and in terms of the conversion? So, you know, how much did you spend, and then what was the ROI on that? So cost of customer acquisition ideally should be as low as possible, and find the channel that delivers sales best. So you're looking for the most sales, not the most activity. And I think sometimes people get diverted by activity or diverted by, trying to build a lot of followers, which is nice, but it's not actually necessarily going to lead to sales, which is what you need to keep your focus on. So why customer lifetime value matters. Figure out your likely potential customer lifetime value. And once you know how much each new customer will be worth on average, then you can set a realistic marketing budget to acquire each one. So your ultimate goal is to spend as little as possible in acquiring the customers. But find out what that little as possible is, and then make sure that whatever path it is that you're advertising and marketing through isn't going to cost you more than it needs to in terms of what the customer will be worth to you ultimately. Use metrics to diagnose problems. So yes, you can actually figure out what's wrong by using marketing metrics. So you can see with conversion optimization, if people are visiting your site but people aren't buying, analytics can help you understand why. You can figure out which part of the funnel isn't working, or which part of your marketing mix isn't together, and then analyze that, create a strategy, fix it, and then A/B test it to see, is my fix working better than what I had before. You can better define your customers. So you can actually now, with digital, go beyond the traditional demographics and actually define your customers based on their interests, or based on all kinds of information that you might find from mobile. If you've got a mobile app, then you can draw data from that as well and find out what time of day people are logging in, all kinds of stuff that can help you know how to market better. Finding deeper revelations. So yeah, here we've listed, do people like sports? Also run marathons, or do buyers buy chicken and potatoes together every Thursday? So once you have this information, you can then start creating better promotions and creating tighter marketing strategies. When it comes to analytics, it seems like now there are three groups. There's the descriptive type of measurements in terms of what happened in the past. So people are measuring what already took place, and then describing, okay, here's what happened, and here's interpreting it a little bit as to how things fit together in terms of the I'll call it insights, which starts to move into prescriptive. So creating actionable insights from historical information. So looking at what already happened, and then really being able to put together different aspects of the data that you gather to then create insights that you can plan around for the future. And then lastly, there are predictive analytics. So this is using patterns seen in the past to actually create those plans for your team in the future. We have Moneyball here as an example. I don't know if you're familiar with the book or the movie, but basically this was how a baseball team was able to create a team of people who weren't always the superstars, but they each had their own specialty and statistically were able to do certain things. And by putting together a certain mix of team members, this team was able to go all the way to the finals. So analytics help you fish where the fish are. Essentially, you're able to figure out which channels are working to achieve your goals and which ones are not working. Sooner, faster, better. So when it comes to social nets, when it comes to your search engine marketing, when it comes to all kinds of things, even you can take it down to look at your content piece by piece to see which piece of which blog post or which piece of content that's been written is actually drawing people to your site best. And either focus on promoting that some more, or focus on creating more pieces of content that are like that can draw more people. And yeah, lastly, also what's working for the competitors. So you can see, do a bit of analysis on them and find out that, oh, you know, this kind of content is helping them, or this channel seems to be popular for their users. And then you can use that as well. For A/B testing, I find it's good for two different kinds of things. One is using landing pages well. So you can create landing pages and then figure out which landing page is working best by A/B testing the pages. Better measure channel effectiveness, and then perform A/B testing of the channels. So you can see which one is giving the best click-through rate, and then optimize your spending and results based on that. And then you can A/B test your costs as well. So you can see, as you try different approaches, compare the total cost of creating leads by each. So did this particular channel create, you know, if I spent X here, was it better than spending the same amount on something else? And then you can actually see apples for apples, which one is working best. And then spend in the right place. So you might find out that, you know, your SEM is working, or your Facebook is working, or your content marketing is working, and then allocate your budget appropriately so that you're maximizing the impact of the budget that you have. When it comes to metric do's and don'ts, I always say use SMART goals. So goals that are specific and measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, so that you've got a specific time to measure everything within that you're trying to achieve. Use existing data, so don't ignore data that you already have, because I think most companies do have data already, and they just really need to work with the other departments in the company in order to put it all together to get a truly complete picture of everything from sales to marketing, especially, and IT, to see what's, you know, how best can everything work together, and is it all fitting well to actually maximize everything, not just marketing, but can marketing help sales, and so on. So the third one, measure regularly. Yes, once you've got everything set up, don't just set it up and forget it. You need to actually set it up and then actually use it, come back at least weekly, if not daily sometimes, to when you're running big campaigns, to see how everything's going. And then only then can you really get to understand it well and be able to optimize well. And then revenue. So don't lose sight of your company's revenue goals, because this is really what matters. So in summary, choose the KPIs that will best measure what you want to achieve and focus your measurement on those. And thanks for listening to the presentation. And yeah, I look forward to receiving any questions in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them. Or if you want to email us, you can. All of our details are here, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter, or come and check out the Heardable website. Thanks.